It's an absolute pleasure to welcome you all to the Campus to Corporate Summit 2.0, themed Smart Skills for the AI Era, shaping graduate employability with future technologies, brought to you by CloudThat in collaboration with Microsoft. Today, we stand at the crossroads of innovation and employability. AI is no longer the future, it's the present. As AI and emerging technologies reshape industries, the gap between academic learning and industry expectations continues to widen. Studies show that 75% of employers struggle to find graduates with the right skills, while only 45 students feel that workforce ready. So, how do we fix this? By ensuring that students don't just walk away with degrees, but with the right skills that employers actually need. That's exactly why we are here today, to bridge the gap between academia and industry and prepare our future workforce to be AI ready. Since ignoring AI won't make it go away. So let's dive into an evening of insights, collaborations, and AI related discussions. We are honored to have industry leaders from CloudThat and Microsoft, following the academic discussions makers from ISBR, Srinivas University, Sri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, Comvault, Movate, Ericsson, who will take us deeper into this crucial conversation. We are also thrilled to welcome distinguished academic leaders across Bangalore. Your presence reflects our shared commitment to shaping the future of employability, and we are honored to have you here. To set, to set the stage for today's discussion, I am delighted to invite a leader who has been at the forefront of cloud and AI transformation, Bhavesh Goswami, founder and CEO of CloudThat. Bhavesh is a cloud computing pioneer associated with Microsoft and AWS since 2005, playing an instrumental role in shaping Microsoft's early cloud offering and launching AWS's first service. In 2012, he established CloudThat, India's first company to offer authorized service trainings and consulting services in partnership with Microsoft and other cloud service providers. As a patent holder and thought leader, his article on cloud, AI, IoT, and DevOps are regularly featured in the Times of India and the Economic Times, offering valuable insights on key industry trends and advancements. Let's extend a warm welcome to Bhavesh as he shares his perspective on smart skills for the AI era. Give him a big round of applause.
Hi. Can you hear me all right? Yeah. Shraddha, thank you so much for the warm introduction. Hi, everyone. My name is Bhavesh, founder and CEO of CloudThat, like she mentioned. Um, First of all, I would like to extend a warm welcome to all of you. It's a Friday evening in Bangalore. And for all the things we could have been doing, we are spending time together this evening. So thank you so much for spending time with us. I don't know about you, but I had to bribe my wife that to let me come here on a Friday evening instead of spending time with her. So I'm sure that a lot of you had to do similar things, and thank you. What my goal will be, what our goal will be, is that to give you enough value for your time, so that that all the time that we are going to spend, that you go with some valuable insights on what we've been doing, and how can we partner, and how can we make sure that we can work together for the upliftment of India. So I want to quickly move on for that. So we have talked a little bit about cloud. That I work for Amazon, I work for Microsoft Cloud Division, and I joke to people that I'm one of the few people that is both old and cloud native at the same time, because I was just lucky enough to land my first big job at AWS when the cloud was just forming in AWS. And Andy Jassy, who's the CEO of entire Amazon right now, was my skip level manager. So I worked under that team, very small team in 2005 in Seattle. It grew up to kind of massive size that AWS Cloud is right now. I was there for about 4 years, joined Microsoft. and I was part of the Microsoft team, online services team, where Satya was the VP. So he was like 3 4 levels above me. So I've been lucky to work closely with two pioneers, and then came back to India, and I founded CloudThat. At that time in 2012, when we were founded, we were the only company doing cloud trainings in India. Since then, it's been we finished 13 years. We started our 14 year. We are in our teens, and we have trained over 8.5 lakh professionals. And any company you take, TCS, Infosys, Wipro, Accenture, Capgemini, most likely their first 5 to 10,000 cloud professionals were skilled by us, right? So because at that time we were the only guys doing it, so it really helped us in growing faster, and also to make sure that we created the first wave of cloud engineers, cloud architects for India when cloud was new. Fast forward now, in 14 years, we are about 500 people company, and every year we train now about 1 lakh 2 lakh people on cloud technologies for a lot of large organizations and academia, especially in India. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about a partnership. So we are a cloud-focused player, right? Microsoft is one of our, or the largest training partnership, and but we are also partners with other cloud providers, Amazon, Google, and so forth. So we have partnership, official authorized partnership with all the major cloud providers that are there in the world. We For all the great work that we have done, we are one of the most awarded training company in the world, right? We have in the 8 years we have 7 awards by Microsoft, just Microsoft, and one of them, the this partner of the year, right? This is only one award is given to a year to a company. So we are the first Indian headquartered training company to receive this award. So we are very happy. Thank you. So we are the current partner of the year for this, and before that we had several nominations before we actually won it, and several other awards by Microsoft. We also have awards from other providers like AWS and stuff. In fact, we are the only company in the world who is headquartered in India again and have back-to-back AWS awards for Partner of the Year APJ. So again, the first company to do so. So highly awarded, highly regarded company when it comes to cloud. All right, so let's get to the meat of our discussion. So this is Puneet Chanlok, by the way. A lot of you might know him. He's the MD of Microsoft India, right? And he was recently in Bangalore. In fact, Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, was in Bangalore recently. In fact, Satya has been in Bangalore, I think, about 5 times in the last 3 years, right? Just India, 5 times in the last 3 years that I know of. And of course, he doesn't call me every time he comes to India. So I only get to know when it is publicly mentioned. But publicly, he's been 5 times in India. If you take the previous CEOs of Microsoft, right, somebody like Steve Ballmer or Bill Gates, I don't think they've been to India in their entire tenure, right? So that is the importance of India now, that even the head of Microsoft is coming to India so frequently, right? So this is a image from Puneet Chanlok, who's the head of Microsoft India, and he was presenting. And I love the slide so much that I shamelessly just took a photo and I'm using it for this. And this event, Satya was also there. But Puneet had a really great slide. He talks about no longer just incredible India, but credible India, right? And he talks about the India story. And that's what I want to start with my first part of the talk today. That currently it's really incredible, right? If you look at it, he's saying we have 7,000 large enterprises. We have about 1 lakh startups, right? 100 of them unicorn. We have 60 million SMEs and $1 trillion digital economy in the next few years, right? So this is really, really incredible stat that when it comes to where India has progressed. Not only that, in terms of supply, he's saying that about 2.5 lakh computer science graduate from India every year, right? That's a really major source. In fact, what they're saying is that 25% of new global workforce will be added by India in the next few years, right? So take the entire world, right? 1 in 4 person who's going to enter workforce is going to be from India. So incredible amount of momentum behind all this we are doing. And of course he talks about the India stack, right? And not only how great the India stack is, but how economical we do it, right? We created something like the biometric, right? Like Aadhaar and all that at about $1 per person. That is unheard of. Any other comparable system developed by any other company in US or UK or something was at least 50 to 100 times more expensive. So not only we are able to do these things, and we are a leader when it comes to innovation with the UPI and the Aadhaar and ONDC and all the great things we are doing, but we are doing it cheaply. We are doing it economically. You might know that it was on the news that the entire probe that we had sent to Mars, right, cost us less than the movie made on that, right, in the Hollywood. So you can imagine that how economical we are. So we are, I think, in a great position. So if you look at India's story, continuing with the India story, this is something which was in Times of India recently. I have taken so the yellow is where we are, right? So we are currently at about $4.2 trillion in terms of economy. But by 2028, we are projected to be about 5 trillion economy, right? Earlier it was 2025, then 2026. We've been slipping a little bit because our growth numbers has been not as great as what we anticipated. But still, 2028, definitely we're going to be about $5 trillion economy. We will be the third largest economy in the world, right? So in just next 2 to 3 years, we'll become the third only to US and China in terms of the size of our economy, right? That is like phenomenal. Not only that, I came back to India in 2012, 2011, founded CloudThat in 2012. From 2014 to now, we have doubled our economy, right? So we have gone from about 2 point something trillion to 4 point something trillion. So just in 10 years, which is not a really long stretch of time, we have doubled our GDP, right? So that's like really phenomenal amount of growth. And if you really look at this, we are the only ones kind of, apart from, of course, US and this, who's growing and going at this rate. So our growth is really great. And by 2028, when we'll be a 5 trillion economy, the projection is that about 10% of that, so about 500 billion, which is 10% of 5 trillion, has to come from the innovation in AI, Gen AI, all the new innovative technologies, IoTs and things like that. So innovation is going to be really important, because if you really want to reach this 5 trillion and reach quickly, then a lot of that revenue has to come from newest technologies like Gen AI, data and AI, data analytics and things like that, right? So we really have to work hard towards getting there. Not only that, right? GDP growth, this and that, I mean, yeah, looks great, right? It could be also because of manufacturing or something like that. But if you look at GitHub users, so a lot of you might know GitHub, right? It's a source control repository online. So if you write code, then you have to use GitHub to check in your code, and it keeps your code safe. It makes sure that multiple people can use the code at the same time. Everybody can check in the code. So GitHub is the most popular online source repository. In fact, Microsoft bought GitHub a few years ago. So Microsoft published this stat when Satya was here, that currently in 2025, right, US has the most amount of developers on GitHub, right? But look at where we are trending. In the next 2 years, by 2027, US GitHub projects that India will have the most amount of developers on GitHub, right? Which means that, yeah, sure, let's clap for that. Why not? Right, so that's a phenomenal thing. People will need coding. The entire kind of thing is going towards Gen AI, ML, and the coders are required, and we will have the largest amount of coders in the next few years. Not only that it is not just the sheer volume of coding that we have, right? What kind of coding are we doing on GitHub, right? What exactly is the kind of projects? If you look at the projects, if you look at the generative AI projects, which supposed to be the most niche kind of project which is happening, right? In generative AI, we are only second to US, which is of course where a lot of innovation happened. But more than Japan, more than UK, more than Germany, any of the Canada, China, We are by far the second largest number of projects on GitHub on GenAI. So that's a phenomenal achievement as well, right? That really kind of shares as well. Sure. So not only we have most amount of developers, not only that the developer community is strong, the developers that we have are actually working on some really cutting edge stuff, right? Only second to US in terms of where we are on the generative AI project. So this all boards kind of really, really well for us, right? India is shining, our GDP is growing. In fact, Donald Trump said, I'm going to put tariffs and the entire global stock market keep tanking, right? But the India story keeps continuing. I think if you follow stock market, you probably know that in the last, I think 2-3 weeks, we have recovered all the thing that is lost since Donald Trump came and all the things happened, right? So stock market is again up, going up, up, up. Our the numbers for growth has been revised and they are very steady. We are the fastest growing major economy in the world, right? Our technology stack like UPI and Aadhaar and stuff is being replicated all across the world. People are coming to us and say replicate that. So really, really amazing. I was just thinking that this is probably the best time to be in India, to be alive in India by one of the longest shot. And I kind of try to think that when was the last time India had such a great importance, right? Like that it was so important for the world. When was the last time that India was like that, right? And I asked Gen AI to say, when was India, this thing. So I'll come to this in a little bit. But I was just asked in that when was the last time that India was this important to the world? And Gen AI produced this image for me, right? And this is probably 15th, 16th century when everybody was trying to find a route to India to have all the spices and gold and diamonds. And we were the only country in the world with diamonds. We were the only country in the world with this kind of spices. And we had the world's biggest gold reservoir, this thing, right? And really we have to go back, I think, that centuries to find a time when India was so important, so critical to the world, when India was looked up by the entire world. So I think it's a really, really kind of golden opportunity in front of us of what we are, right? To add to some of that, uh, sorry, to add to some of that, right? If you look at the growth numbers in cloud, especially in the technologies, it is astonishing. Like we are growing at 26.7% annually in cloud. Cloud supposed to reach 13 billion by next year in terms of the volume. Humongous numbers. Government has the Digital India initiative that they have taken. So lot of government things are going online, right? So if you are aware of this, few years ago, or just even 5-7 years ago, we all knew that it was every government tender, there was so much corruption going on in tendering and this and that, and money is being made and all that, right? With the advent of things like GEM, Digital India, every major project has to be on GEM, where it is open for anyone to bid, right? And just by the scrutiny, I'm not saying we have eradicated corruption probably, but just the amount of scrutiny it gets, I think we definitely decrease corruption by a lot just from having that GEM portal, right? And that is made on cloud. And government has huge initiative like that to digitize India. 90% of Indian enterprises use cloud. This is also really high percentage. If you take a typical UK enterprise or a US enterprise, right, they are very averse to using cloud at the same time because they are worried about this and that. But India is adopting technology at a very fast pace, right? And that is a really good news for us that we are moving forward, we are adopting technologies. And by 2030, when India, we supposed to be a 5 trillion economy, about $40 billion will be just part of the cloud kind of consumption, right? So that's where the cloud is. Now, is everything rosy? Is everything great, right? We don't have any issues. We should all just call it the day and just go to the bar and just enjoy, right? And no worries or something like that, right? No problems at all. Well, you know, the real story is never that rosy, right? We have to kind of scratch beyond the surface to find the real stuff. So while I think, again, I strongly believe that there was a never better time to be alive in India in the last centuries at least, right? But we have some issues that we need to solve if you want to continue down that journey, right? If you remember at this time, we were in a good position, but we let it slip. and that affected us for hundreds of years. So I think we have to be a bit more vigilant to make sure that the opportunity in front of us, we don't miss, we grab it with both hands and work for India. So what are some of the challenges that we face to kind of fulfill this dream? And I think one of the biggest challenge, of course, is that um, out of 3.85 crore enrollments in the higher education system, only 42% of graduates, or sorry, 42% of the graduates under the age of 25 were unemployed or underemployed. That's a huge number, and this is stats which is from Aziz Premji University. They've done a lot of research and things like that, right? So it's not something which is I'm taking very lightly. This is in-depth research done by them, and they published this. So huge amount of problem that our graduates are graduating, right, but they don't have jobs. So what is the challenge? Is the challenge that on one side we are saying India is growing, all these guys are coming, this and that. Then what is the problem? Why don't we have jobs, right? And the biggest challenge is that while just in by FY25, right, 30 lakhs jobs are supposed to open only in cloud computing, and this is by NASSCOM, by the way. Right, so NASSCOM does a lot of surveys, and their stats are taken. Even if you take 15-20% variance, right, there is lakhs and lakhs of jobs open in cloud computing. On the other hand, 76% of IT companies say that they struggle to find suitable cloud and AI talent. So I think it's a really interesting conundrum, right? We have the folks, we have a lot of young folks, so we don't have a manpower problem. They are skilled, they are, at least they have degrees, right? On the other hand, we have job openings, and we have industries that are kind of crying that, hey, we don't really, we are not able to find talent, right? But on the other hand, people are unemployed. So I feel that the reason why we have this kind of very different stats, and we really have to, all of us are responsible for this, right? We all have to work together to solve this challenge, is because that the technology is moving so fast, right? Just the if you really take just, I mean, 2, 3, 4 years ago, right? Just read some articles from 4 years ago about latest technology. None of them predicted. Just 4 years ago, nobody predicted the entire Gen AI. Nobody predicted the entire kind of co-pilots of Microsoft and the advents of all these large language models and things like that, and all these EVs and stuff. So I think technology is moving really fast, and we'll have to adapt so that the guys that we produce, right, the students that we produce are somebody that can find a job. So, but I'm not here just to give you gyan and saying we should do that, right? We research a little bit, and we have come up with a technique, right? A methodology, if you will. We call it campus to corporate, C2C learning. And this is our process. I'm going to talk about that a little bit. But what we have found is that when we apply this process, then we are able to make a lot of folks that come out of it employable, right? They are able to, and it's not easy, but we're able to find them to be able to place in certain organizations. So in the campus to corporate, first is initial assessment. So for example, if you come to us and say, hey, here's a batch, and I want this batch to be able to, able to do data science job when they graduate, right? We want them in good companies, we want good salary, we want them to be able to graduate with this. Okay, we first start with skill gap assessment, because a lot of time we find that while the ask is to have them do data science, but they don't even know basic Python. So some amount of Python is required, right, for them to do that. So that analysis, we work with the students, we see what's in their curriculum, what they're teaching before, what they're teaching after, and we kind of, using that, we create custom course content. Most of this custom course content is created by us, but we also use authorized courses by Microsoft, so that the courses, Microsoft authorized. Not only that, we have worked with Microsoft to NOS align about 20-25 certifications. So if you kind of do that, then those courses will also be NOS aligned if you add any of those certifications as part of your course, right? Which is, I think, a requirement for some of you. Then we do instructor-led sessions, right? So a lot of guys are pitching video-based courses, completely video-based, will give the video. But we all know that in India, it doesn't work, right? If you give video-based courses to 1,000 students, hardly, I think, 50 or 60 are going to finish everything, right? Otherwise, I think more than 50% will not even open the portal. if you have fully online. So we understand that. So we do instructor-led sessions. We have lots of hands-on curriculum, case studies, weekly assessments, and things like that. Now, we have learned from our mistakes. So earlier, what used to happen is we used to say, okay, great, give us 100 students and we'll teach them. Here's a 3 months program or 2 months program that we'll do. And what we saw was that the participations all kind of went down, down, down. We started with 100. By I think week 5 or 6, we have 50 guys or 30 guys coming to the class, right? Because if they miss a couple of classes, the incentive to come back was a little bit low. So we started some small innovations, like we do a weekly assessment and we have a leaderboard so they can see where they stand. And any class you take, especially if they are engineering or guys who are kind of a bit competitive, there will be half the class who will fight and attend and give tests because they want to be at the top, and the other half of the class is fighting because they don't want to be at the bottom. कि last नहीं बस second last चलेगा, but I don't want to be last, right? So they are just struggling or fighting to just make sure they're not at the very end of the class, but somewhere in the middle. But what we find is that this kind of weekly assessment leaderboards that we share with them make sure that they are kind of attending and the engagement goes really high. When that happens, we do continuous improvement checkpoints. So sometimes what happens is, some part could be really hard, and we in the assessment we see that everybody is failing that or everybody has less mark in that. Then we go ahead and redo that, right? We reteach that. In terms of completion, of course, there's a capstone project that we do. So we give them something, we give them the cloud environment where they have to do the project themselves, for a data and AI environment where they have to finish data and projects, and certification completion. So we try to pair with one Microsoft certification, most likely because a lot of the certifications are NOS aligned. So if you have that, then you kind of are sure that it's industry aligned and things like that. Then we also give some experiential learning. So sometimes what happens is students learn all those cloud techniques, but they don't get the confidence that I can apply it. उनको लगता है कि they feel like, oh, I have read in the book, but the industry is completely different, right? I can't act. So we try to bring some industry projects and try to say, hey, here's what if you get employed by a TCS, SCL, Infosys or Capgemini, Accenture, this is the kind of work they will give you. Can you use the knowledge you have gained and try to do it, right? So it's kind of experiential learning where they get the things. We do the entire project management where we give you reports and things like that. We also do reward and recognition. So the top students in here, we give them some rewards, some certificates to motivate them, and stuff. And in the end, there's placement support. So this is something we learn the hard way. I have no shame in saying that this used to be placement guarantee, right? And I think that what we realize is that when you use the word guarantee, then they feel I need to just pay the fees, and now I am no longer my mom and dad's problem. I am your problem now. You need to fix me and stuff that. So we realized that that was a wrong language. So we changed the language to guarantee. Support, right? That we're going to support you in that, where we have resume building sessions. So once they're done with everything, because a lot of times what we saw is students would do 5 months, 6 months of this, but they will add one line in the resume, right? That Azure AI/ML certification, like one line, and that is so easy for the recruiter to miss. It is so easy for them to miss. So we also have, and especially with Gen AI in the picture, it becomes so much easy for us to kind of help them kind of take the resume, add some Gen AI, so that all this critical component they have learned, right? That I can architect on Azure, I can do support on Azure, I can do managed services on Azure, those kind of keywords and highlights for the industry recruiters are looking for. We can help them build a resume on that. We do mock interviews where our own team kind of questions them, interviews them. And by the way, CloudThat also has a consulting division. So a lot of these interviews are conducted by a consulting division, because if they like the candidate, then they offer it then and there. Because we all usually have open positions in our consulting team, right? So it's actually not a mock interview taken by a professor or a instructor, right? It's taken by somebody who's actually working and has an open position in his thing. And we give them feedback on them and we provide them placement assistance, right? So with this, we are happy to say that we have engaged over 2,000 students in the last few years in that. And every year we are learning, every year we are getting better, and every year we are our results and numbers are increasing year by year, right? So that's what we call the campus to corporate. This is what we propose, and happy to post this. I think I'll be here, so I'm happy to take any questions or so you have. We have some. I think after this. We have some, I think I'll give it back to Shraddha to kind of have some discussions. Leaving you with a couple of feedback that were given by GD Goenker and the Jodhpur Institute of Technology. And we have plenty of them, but a couple of testimonials that are given to us, right? With that, thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Over to you, Shraddha.
Now we move on to a very special segment, a fireside chat. Not like the actual fire, of course, but plenty of insights as we explore the skills gap and discuss how to prepare students from success in an ever evolving workspace. To lead this insightful discussion, I would like to invite our moderator, Sharath Kanti, Head of Microsoft Training at CloudThat. Sharath is an experienced solution architect and developer, a technical speaker working on several initiatives, complementing adoption of Microsoft Azure, data science, AI/ML, and big data within corporates and academic institutes. Let's welcome Sharath with a big round of applause.
Thank you, Shraddha. Thank you, Bhavish. And a very warm welcome to everyone who have put your time here in the evening of a Friday. So, like,
training and consultancy as a part of product business. And one thing that we have faced over time, being involved in both of these aspects, is the fact that, of course, we are seeing significant gap from what industry experts expect from people who are graduating, and what people are skilled at actually at the end of the day when they come out as graduates. And we have been consistently working to fill in those gaps. And in the next 15-20 minutes,
I've been having a discussion with two of the distinguished academia heads to see what are the strategies or what are the challenges that they are facing in order to make this or lessen this or narrow this down in terms of gap that we have between the academia and what industry expects out of the engineers once they are out of it. So with that, would like to invite the first panelist today, Mr. Naveen Pol. He's the HOD of Analytics at ISBR. He's a seasoned academic and industry expert with 18 years of experience across FMCG, telecom, and academia, socializing in business analytics, statistics, and marketing. Currently serving as HOD of Analytics at ISBR, he holds a PhD in management and has an extensive research portfolio with 30 publications, including Scopus and UGC-listed journals. Proficient at R programming language, he is actively engaged in data analytics trainings and also consultancy. So, Mr. Naveen Pol, if you could join us, please. Thank you, sir. Next, we have Mr. Manish Sharma, who is program lead at Sri Vaishnav Vidyapit Vishwavidyalaya. Manish Sharma, an esteemed academician with over 12 years of teaching experience. He is a program lead at Sri Vaishnav Institute of Information Technology, Indore, holding an MTech and BE. He has authored over 7 national and international research papers showcasing his expertise in information technology and academic research. Mr. Manish Sharma, if you would join us, please. So thank you again for joining us today for this session. So I think let's directly dive into the questions that we have for you, sir. And I would definitely like to understand and know more about the kind of challenges you're facing and what are the steps that you are taken and any other things that you feel that we can do better in order to optimize the learning for an entire generation of the academia that is about to come ahead now. So with that, sir, I would start with the first question. From your experience, what skills do you think are students lacking? And how is the skill gap impacting graduates' readiness for the workforce? And how are you seeing it play out in your institution, sir?
I think so, sir. Students often lacking of practical skills right now. Means basically just like they are practically not knowledgeable, not able to create the logics behind the particular implementation of AI driven projects or number of projects which are assigned to them. And critical thinking is also one of the issue in a that is why students lacking right now.
Yes, absolutely, sir. And I think,
Even
yes,
I
please.
would like to add a few points, as rightly said by Manish ji. And further, it's like, we come from a business institution, and we see that, communication skills is something that they lack in predominance. And once, like, obviously the courses being dealt are like, to the far, like, they're dealt with a good intent, and students are able to do some sort of a modeling. For example, we ask them to do a predictive modeling, they do it. And thanks to AI, that they are able to jot down the codes also. But when it comes to the aspect of communicating the results, so that is what they lack. Exactly, they don't understand the concepts of business acumen and the storytelling per se. So that is what, is the major hindrance as per me.
Completely agreed, sir. And sir, like you also rightly mentioned, I think having that lab setup environment sometimes itself is a challenge for colleges, because if you are doing a regular C or a Python lab for them, it's not a big deal. You have a lab setup and things needs to be installed, it's done. But then if you are trying to do the same thing with something like Azure or AWS, it needs to have a certain set of lab setup and other things, which could definitely be one of the challenges as well. Agreed, sir, completely. So, so the next question that I have here, sir, is it's evident that skills required today are evolving rapidly. In response to this shift, many institutions are exploring new ways to support their students, particularly through partnerships and training programs. Could you share how collaborations with CloudThat has helped your institutions address this gap?
The collaboration with the CloudThat helps a lot of to the students. Basically, means with the help of CloudThat, we provide the latest content or technological content to the students right now, and practical skill oriented courses to the students to grow up in a industry ready job or job ready programs.
Yeah, and adding to Manish, like we offer a course called as data science, and that it is specially curated in tandem with CloudThat as an organization, because we had a specialization called as business analytics, and before we were not offering data science as such. But after understanding the curriculum that you have offered, and we happen to come to know also that you are the only certified trainer, and you provide Microsoft certifications also, so in entire Karnataka. So we take that, we leverage that also in terms of our admissions. That is something which has helped us a lot. And students as such, we can see that they are able to relate the components of analytics far better than other students. So that is what we have said, because they are like, they are very few in numbers, either like 28, 30 in numbers, and those students have got a clear cut advantage over other students. So that is what we have observed. That's a very, very plus point with CloudThat. The sort of tutors who come and sort of hand holding that happens, that is something very, very nice that I can say.
Yeah, I also take some pride in it, sir, because the trainers that we have are the trainers who go to corporate companies, and they deliver trainings for people who are 8 years, 10 years, 15 years experience as well. So they understand the kind of things that would be required by the corporates, and they know the kind of things that need to be brought down here so that they get that industry touch of things. So definitely, sir, I'm pretty sure that would be helping you. Thanks for that input. So with that, I have a next question. Now, there are two ways to look at this question. I'll be framing both of it for you, sir. With AI and Gen AI and emerging technologies raising the way they are, how will it impact students' employability and learning approach in next few years? Two ways to look at it is, how can institutes prepare and ramp up students' learning across these technologies? How can they do it for Gen AI and AI? And how can institutes leverage AI and Gen AI to enhance the learning experience for the people? Those are the two ways. So what is your take on that, sir?
Yes, sir. Actually, AI and generative AI both includes the innovative thinking to the students right now. Okay, and particularly we need to just like from the our university with the collaboration of CloudThat and Microsoft. So we need to include some more courses based on AI and generative AI for the throughout their journey of graduation. So they learn lots of related to artificial intelligence and machine learning and generative AI, both the things.
Yes, a couple of things to add. It's like when we take academia as such. So there are three major disciplines, right? So one is like science and social science and our humanities. So now what is happening is, if you look at cloud computing or else any of the analytical tools or revenues that are there, predominantly they are confined to the aspects of science as a domain, and there the social science as such, the requirement is there. So however, now in case if you see, there has to be a collaborative teaching or a co-teaching concept that has to be induced, wherein say for example a marketing faculty should be using an AI tool in his classes, like or else he should be buffeted with an computer science faculty. So that is where a collective learning will come into picture, and that is how the across domains they can leverage on the aspect of Gen AI. That is what is my take on this.
Absolutely, sir. And definitely generative AI has enhanced the way we are learning as well. One simple example, if we talk about the learning platforms that are there, if it is a self-paced learning, typically there are videos, right? But then there is no way to track the videos. You could simply skip a video and it could be accounted as something that is done for. But using generative AI, we can now do something called as scan learning, CAN. Now what this does is, it uses generative AI to make sure that whatever we are learning in self-paced learning is in place by taking assessments continuously to make sure that the learning that you have done is in place. So definitely, so generative AI, like you rightly mentioned, can enhance the way we take our learning experience as well. So with that, so let me take the next question here. While we, if institute don't quickly adapt to the pace of AI and Gen AI and cloud transformation, what risks do you foresee for students, academia over next few years? If I can simply rephrase that, while we know that there are aligned programs like this making big impact in academia, what key challenges or colleges or institutions are facing in adopting them, and how do we overcome that?
Basically, sir, if we do not adopt the latest or emerging technologies right now, then the university students or institution students will struggle with the emerging technologies. Means they do not get the industry ready job, future jobs. They are not ready for the future jobs. And particularly there is a lots of reasons behind it, particularly in institutions and university purpose or academicians. Means lack of particularly infrastructure or outdated infrastructure in a institutes, it is the most effective reason, I think so. And there is a need to train the faculties also, and students on the short-term training programs also, or industry ready certifications provided by the particular industries or academic leaders. So they ready for the jobs or future ready, ready for the future jobs.
Yes. So now talking about management institutions, so there are near to 700 MBA institutions that have been registered since last 10 years. But if you see now, there are only 384 colleges which are there. Why they are there? Just because they are able to adapt to the changes what is happening. Now often we tend to blame the students that they are not capable, but I would like to slightly deviate here. So are the faculties who are teaching really capable, and are they in line with the expectations of the industry? That's a question to be answered. So that is where it's a small urge from my side to an institution like CloudThat, that you can curate a capsule course or something and faculty development program for the faculties, wherein, because in case if we are trying to establish that sort of an importance amidst other faculties, they're reluctant, because they have come to an juncture wherein the ability to receive new things, there's a mental blockage, right? And whatever is known to them, that cannot be considered as relevant to today's need that is there in the industry. So that's where I feel that a small programs have to be induced, a course has to be curated in tandem with the management per se, who are the actual enablers of the entire system. So the information has to be cascaded from the top level management, and it has to come to the faculties. So then probably the skill sets of the students would definitely be enhanced. So that is what is I feel.
Absolutely, sir. So industries are now, the organizations or institutes are now aware of the challenge, aware of the importance of this, but unless they have the right kind of faculties to be able to cater that to the student, it's obviously a big challenge, is what you mean as well. Absolutely, sir. Makes sense. Thank you for that. With that, I'll be taking up the last question, sir. As we look ahead, what do you think universities and colleges need to do differently to ensure that students are equipped with the right skills for future? What initiatives can be taken? And can organization like CloudThat do to support and accelerate such initiatives? So what else? We have been doing a lot of things, but what else is the things that organizations like ourselves can do to overall enhance that experience for the students? Sir?
Sir, I think so. We need to include some AI-driven projects in a curriculum, so the student may be ready for the future jobs, and we can also time to time update our curriculum or syllabus also with just like blockchain, AI, generative AI, and data science based syllabus included into a curriculum. This is basically we have to focus on these things.
Exactly. And somewhere I think so now new age of disseminating the knowledge is through bots, and in some of the institutions in Bangalore also we have heard about that. So it's just that someday we have to go and see whether really it is happening or no, that the the teaching is being enabled through bots. So that could be probably a sort of an like a try that can be given. And further, when we talk about students, then 1 or 2 months, a real time their involvement in some live project, wherein they can really understand the need of an candidate or an employee, because these students who come, they are from, not to blame the generation, so-called Gen Zs we tell, and we tend to blame them, but end of the day, right? So it's a transformation that is happening in their growth trajectory. So that is where I think because CloudThat is such a wonderful institution that you are connected with the industry than the faculties who are there in the institution. So 1 or 2 projects wherein in real time they can just go to the industry, sit next to the people who are actually doing the job, and some of the minuscule tasks can be given to them, and they could feel that they are part of something. So that can be done. So this actually adds a lot of feathers. That's I believe.
Definitely, sir. That definitely helps. And in fact, if not bringing students to the industry, to the projects, at least take the projects to the students so that they can learn in the academia if need be for that.
Provide some internship to
Right.
students also.
Yes.
So they can grow up in their career.
Right, absolutely. Great. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for those inputs and invaluable insights regarding this, and a lot of points taken from you. And we'll definitely see how we can incorporate them as well as we go ahead with this. Thank you for your time, sir. And
Thank you so
have
much,
a great
sir.
evening ahead. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks a lot.
Thank you, Sharath, Dr. Naveen sir, and Manish sir for those invaluable insights. This session made it clear that preparing students for the future isn't a solo effort. And now we transition into the most awaited session of the evening, our panel discussion. We have renowned experts from academia and industry who will shed light on how both sectors can collaborate to better prepare students for future workforce. To move ahead with this session, I would like to invite Lakhan Kriplani, Senior Business Unit Head, Trainings at CloudThat, specializing in designing multi-cloud solutions across analytics, fintech, and e-commerce industries. As a seasoned corporate trainer, he has delivered high-impact sessions for corporate and academic audiences on cloud, DevOps, generative AI, cloud security, and emerging technologies. With a strong background in web development, he blends technical expertise with a commitment to knowledge dissemination. Let's give him a big round of applause.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you had a great session till now with a enriching keynote and the great fireside chat, getting to know about AI and how AI is killing India missions and the other initiatives as well. So, as a part of the next sessions, we'll be having a panel discussions on future-ready graduates, how we can align educations with corporate expectations. Here we'll discuss about, we'll have academias and industry experts who will share their knowledge and we'll discuss about how we can bridge the skill gap between students and the future workforce. On the panel today, we have esteemed panel members from industries, colleges who have great years of experience in learning and development and also HR leadership. So let me start welcoming Mr. Madan Goda, who is an IIM Indore alumnus, is a distinguished academia and consultant, currently working as program manager at ISBR Business Schools. He drives innovations in PGDM programs while advising leading retail and construction firms. He is also an active member across various firms where he helps bridge between skill gaps between academia and the industry with his strategic expertise. So may I request Mr. Madan to join us on a panel. So next we have Mr. Dr. Subramanya, who is Dean at Srinivas Universities. He comes with over 22 years of an experience in teaching and research, with over 30 plus publications across various journals and holds expertise in HPCs and network management. So I request Mr. Dr. Subramanya to join us on a stage. So now let's welcome Mr. Ajit, who heads the enterprise applications and operations at Ericsson. He is seasoned cloud and digital transformation leader with over 25 years of experience in enterprise application, automations, and AI/ML. With experience in setting up Cloud Center of Excellence, GCC, and digital transformations offices, he advocates for industry-relevant curricula that prepare graduates for evolving technologies landscape. May I request Mr. Ajit to join us on a stage? So let's move on to the next panelist, Mr. Susai, who is a Senior Director HR at Movit and is seasoned talent acquisition leader with 25 years of an experience, specializing in data-driven recruitment, employer branding, and workforce development. He comes with a background in Java development and passions for HR innovation. He focuses on aligning educations with corporate needs through campus hiring and AI-driven HR strategies. I request Mr. Susai to join us on a stage. Hello. Next we have Mr. Praveen, who is currently working as a learning business partner at Commvault and is a dynamic and innovative talent leader with 19 years of experience in learning and development, talent strategies, organizational effectiveness, and cultural transformation. He has expertise in designing and implementing agile driven leadership development, OD intervention, and blended learning journeys. So thank you all for joining us here, and definitely we'll have a great discussions in the next few minutes. Okay. Thank you everyone for joining us on the stage. Okay, so I think we can get started. As for the recent, as for the recent study suggests that only 45% of students feels that they are job ready and have employable skills. Do you agree with this, Mr. Susai?
Yeah, hi, good evening, everyone. Thanks a lot, CloudThat, for giving this opportunity. So, answering to your question, I totally agree to this. Because if you look at this candidate mindset, I'm a candidate in the sense I'm talking about the student mindset. Obviously, they are always little bit, always worried about what we are going to do. They are not ready for the company, the corporate environment. That's one thing. So what I feel, the culture, what we need to build in the college, they should be ready for the next level. That's one thing. And another thing is like mental and health being, actually. That is one of the things. Actually, you should be mentally prepared them, okay, what they are going to do in the college and what you are going to do in the office environment. The corporate environment is always very different than your college environment. You should be mentally prepared them. And the second thing is that if you look at this curriculum, the curriculum should be, it should be a real-time one. Because people are studying many things in their college, but how they are going to do it in the real time is entirely different. So what I feel, they should be trained not only in the technology. See, nowadays we are talking about AI, ML, or data analytics, data science. But end of the day, what happens is like they should be trained in the soft skills. When they are trained in the soft skills, they are mentally ready. They can face people. And also they will be ready to face the stress. That's one of the area what I feel actually. Yes. This is my opinion.
Thanks, Mr. Susai. Going to Mr. Madan, since you are part of various forums, right? Would you like to share your views on this?
Yeah. Thank you, Bhavesh sir. As we sit here, one news I would like to share before I answer sir's question. We have a super specialization course called data science, and we got admitted to one student called Sagnik Mukherjee, 120 kgs, suffering from bipolar, right? Whose mental status is not same in 5 minutes. It keeps changing. I mean, he was in a condition where every 15 minutes he had to come out, run in the corridor, shouting. This was his status when he joined ISBR in the year 2023, right? Day before yesterday, I get a message from this student. Sir, I'm placed with 8 lakh rupees package. Special thanks to CloudThat team. And this credits goes to your team, sir, Kumar sir, Faizan sir, Arar sir, who have been thick, standing with us, helping the student, being available to answer their calls. Usually, we engage a lot of visiting faculties and so and so, but their interaction with the student ends immediately after the course gets over. But here it was not like that, right? So all the credits to you, congratulations, and thank you so much. Right?
Thanks.
Answering to your question, sir, yes, we see a huge gap. 2019 CII survey, 46% was the number. Today, I mean, of course, during COVID, we saw the skill gap coming to 45, and today we see it at 53%, right? Which means we see there is a gap, but is it not an incremental number? Yes, it's an incremental number. And yes, we also we have collaborated with SHL. Any student who comes to ISBR, immediately after their orientation, they go through this SHL test, which analyzes their cognitive ability as well as an analytical ability to test where they stand. And with no shame, I say 48% of students are still with the gap. right? Again, we take the test once they complete the PGDM, and the numbers are definitely with I number, right? Thank you.
That's great. That's definitely we need to. First is a great share. Great to listen about the story of one of the candidate, and we are glad that our faculties and our instructors have helped them. Okay, so that's a great sides. So let us move to Mr. Ajit. As a part of building cloud COEs and digital transformation, right? You regularly hire freshers and train them. So what are the key gaps you have observed in their preparedness?
So first of all, thank you very much, CloudThat, for this opportunity. In my experience, last 12 to 15 years, when I hire the freshers from different colleges and when they come to the action, basically, the gap is they know what they want to do, but practically they don't know how to do it. Theoretically, they know how to do it. Practically, yes, they know the basics, but in the corporate, it's completely different. The scenarios are different. The data is different. The information which is providing is different. Maybe the connectivity, we may have to use something else, much advanced, that is completely not available or not aware of it. So this is one of the gap which I see. The second thing is, once we showcase to them, that is the scary part. Oh my God, oh, am I able to do it? So this is something like some sort of soft skill which we need to build it from the college, probably from fourth semester or fifth semester onwards, to inculcate the situation of making them confident, the situation to handle and understand in a peaceful mind. So this is the major gap which I see. Okay. Thank you. This is my view.
Thanks. Thanks, Mr. Ajit. Dr. Subramanya, we would like to hear from you as in terms of what do you notice? Many of the students are preparing and they are getting ready for even the final D-Day for them, visit placements and all. So what changes you have noticed in the skill gaps for their preparedness?
Yeah, as many of the industry specialists have agreed that there is a gap. Yes, of course, there is a gap. But to whom to blame this? It is a technological drift which is happening around us. 100% bridging the gap, I think it's not possible, because we all have cleared our driving test on that day, and we have seen how much difficulty we faced while actually driving the car. Yes. So that scenario will persist even in future days also. But however, as an institutional head, it is our responsibility to see that our students are being hired and with a minimal delay of industry, because I know industry is not ready to spare even one day also in training the youngsters. So there is a huge like cost involved in that. We agree that. So how best we can bridge this gap? That is the attempt what we are trying to do now. So soft skill training and other things, as far as possible, we are trying to do it, and it's to some extent we succeeded also. But only one challenge what we are facing is from the resources of IT resources. For example, in training the students in cloud platform, so it needs like its own login credentials and recurring cost involved in that. So which institutions like us may not be able to provide this. So that is the area where people like CloudThat can come and support the institutions like us. Yes. So that is the reason we tied up with the CloudThat this academic year, and it is a honeymoon period right now. Just second semester is going on. Yes. Trainers are coming, and there is absolutely no comments on the trainers side. So they are doing their work very well. Again, there is a problem in Generation Z, which somebody said we are not supposed to blame them. And one of the common complaint what I receive from the trainers is that students are not turning up as how much they are turning up to our classes. No. See, they paid additional premium fees to avail these programs, and they are not opting out to attend the classes. Such kind of challenges that are there.
Yes.
So ultimately, we are answerable to everyone's problem. We try our level best in building our manpower to cater the requirement of the industry.
That's great, and that was my even that's pretty much answered my the next question was how institutions are adapting its training. But also one of the key points which you highlight is the students are not ready to attend the trainings and all, right? So even let's hear from any one of our panelists as well how we can motivate students. Okay, because see, the Srinivas University has engaged with the industry partner to train their participants on the next set of technologies, which is again helping us to make our future youth achieving or aiming towards the India's skill mission, right? But what can be done to push or motivate students to join such programs or participate in programs? Anyone?
I can take a quick dig at that. So, the world is disrupted so much that I really don't need to prepare for this panel. I can just pick my mobile phone, open ChatGPT or Copilot, and exactly record what our moderator has asked. I don't need more than 20 seconds. Now flip it, right? Let's be honest. How many of us, when we wanted to get a job out of campus, trying to make a career, how prepared were we? How difficult or easy was it? If it is difficult, raise your right hand. If it is not difficult, you can sit down wherever you are.
Yes, many people
right? Now the shift is abundance of something that is possibly that we should not provide to I don't know. Calling the latest generation itself is so quick because it changes tomorrow. Right? The multi-generational workforce that we have is absolutely broad, so diverse from one end to another. So number one, I would honestly say that the students really need to understand the essence of what really gets them to a corporate. 3 simple things is, number one, they should always aim for experience initially, meaning whether it is an apprenticeship, internship, right? Of course, most of the internships are paid internships these days. Otherwise, back in the day, we were just interns forever. I was an intern for 11 months.
Yes.
Right? Now, number one, not really looking for the package, not really looking for the organization, but experience is the key, because all that they do in the lab now is basis on someone's fallacy. In an organization, this is the scenario, this is the complexity, this is what happens, this is how you would code, this is how you create something. None of it is reality.
Yes.
When they actually come on board, it is absolutely different.
Yes.
So number one, they should be ready for the experience, look for an opportunity to get experience and not just the job. Second, I agree with all the panelists here, well said, is definitely personality skills or life skills is really important for them to understand, align with the corporate world. I never had a mentor, and when I got a mentor, by the time I really got to seeking mentorship, few years in my career passed. Had I got a mentor before, early in my career, probably it would have been a different case. Yes. Right? They have access to mentors and thought leaders across the globe. Today is a classic example of, like minds coming together to create a future, right?
Yes.
So they taking that opportunity is really important, not looking at like another symposium or seminar. I'll just sit outside with friends. Maybe I'll come in the last moment for attendance. I think it's also in the generational culture. So third and most important is, while we let them be themselves, but we do educate that it is important for them to align with where they want to be, meaning getting the pulse of what corporate really expects them is an important aspect. I've been to different campuses in my career over close to 19 years now. Have interacted with more than 2,000 campus graduates, especially to be hired. And I would say only 10% are committed, and those who are committed, they are absolutely doing well today.
Yes.
Right? I have classic examples, and I do have somebody in an extended team where I hired them like back in 2010. That shift has come, and people should be leveraging the technology. I think that is one of the key aspects, is responsibly. So I always talk about responsible AI.
Yes.
Not something, as I said, I can pick my phone, look at Copilot, ChatGPT, and say, hey, tell me 3 lines that I want to respond to this particular panel. But today, all that you hear from me is my preparation, my passion for sharing what I want.
Yes.
It may or may not be on Copilot. I really don't care about that. But what I care is I have so many, wonderful people sitting here sharing my thought. So that's what I wanted to share.
That's great. So definitely we can still, it's, I would say, a collaborative efforts between the industries as well as the academias. We have to sit together and see how we can bring back, as you have highlighted, one of the pointers being like the people are just wanted to do the job easiest by asking a GPT models and all. But also I would say by adding a industry experts in between, or if they are empaneled with some webinars, right, definitely we can guide them, or it's responsibility of both. Rather than just leveraging the GPTs, right, we should also guide them. You should spend time on developing those models as well.
I want to add one more point here. I think he also touched about the symposium, everything. So what I feel, we should allow the students to plan. Whether when we are doing the symposium or any meetups, whatever you are planning in your college, see, more than a professor plans everything. I know professor is the backbone of everything, but the professor should allow the students, even I'm talking about the college or anything, they should allow the students to plan. That will create an entrepreneurial mindset in the students actually. So they will understand what are the challenges they are going to face and how they can interact with the industry leaders, how they have to bring in and how they have to behave with them. There are a lot of things are there. This will cover the soft skills as well as the technology skills, because when they talk to the other person, they will also understand, okay, I should improve myself in this area.
Yes.
They will understand that what are the gaps in them. So when you are putting them into the real core problems, they will understand how they have to manage. So that is the area, as a senior person, we have to be behind the face and we have to do all those things and let them do. That will help these people.
Yes.
This is my take here.
Okay, that's great. Thanks, sir, for sharing it. India is making bold moves in AI with initiatives like India AI Missions, with an ambitious effort to establish the country as a global leader in AI adoption. Also, in last visit of Mr. Satya Nadella, Microsoft announced the $3 billion investment in India over the span of 2 years in cloud and AI infrastructure. Right? How do you think these efforts can help students and fresh graduates, and how can university further this support or this movement?
So I can answer this. So it's not only Microsoft or Google or a couple of companies. Most of the companies, what I see in these days is they are bringing their GCCs in India, especially in Bangalore, Hyderabad. These are the areas majority. So this is one of the wonderful opportunity where we can get involved, because they are going to invest heavily here, and most of the activities are happening on AI/ML as well as LLM, that is ChatGPT, Copilot, all this area, plus cloud. These are the major areas. So how can we support for that? So this support need to start from the campus, in my view, rather than we hire the person, train for 6 months or 8 months. From my experience, I am talking about. After 6 months, 8 months, the person will tell after the training, oh, I am not too much interested because too much of mathematics in this.
Yes.
I am not able to understand this. Or if we train the person in cloud, then we'll tell, oh, I am not so much interested in this technology. I want to move to something else. So, in my view, from the campus, we need to identify what is their passion, what is their interest, accordingly to mold.
Yes.
All right. So that's my view.
So to add on to Sir, we have faced this problem, right, where companies spend a lot training students once they join. So to solve these problems, ISBR has taken few initiatives where every course in first year, 30% of the course is taught by the industry, right?
Okay.
And in second year, every course, 50% of the course is taught by the industry, right? And when I go with specialization, there are few courses which are co-designed and co-taught by the industry, right? Where we have got few recruiters with us, probably Borderless, Wipro, and Kantar. As I say, I mean it. So we have designed courses with them, and the managers come and teach in their weekends, and those students are evaluated once the course is completed. So this way, one, we bridge that gap in the school levels, right?
Great.
And to answer your question, what do we do to ensure students are well equipped with AI? So we have established AI lab. As part of this AI lab, our students go through 30 hours in-depth course on AI for managers, right? Again, taken by the industry person, and a workshop where 30 days, 30 AI courses, right? Again,
That's
from
great.
the industry. So such innovations have been really helpful for our students to build the gaps that we keep talking about.
Yes, definitely. I think this is a great pointers for the universities as well, because definitely this will help us to reduce the time for candidates to learn and better prepare for the next jobs basically, and they can be early adapter for the jobs as well.
I would like to quickly add, I'll just take a moment. I know we are running a tight ship. Slightly think radical is what I'll tell the students today. Everybody is thinking about engineering, software, or a typical mainstream industry. But I believe as a passionate corporate social responsibility citizen, I believe there is a lot of opportunity in ESG space.
Yes.
Environment, sustainability, and growth. So, classic example is someone's design thinking here. Correct? Number two, India is absolutely, I don't know if we even have a rank with respect to waste management. Right? There is a lot of research going on there, and AI technology is going to really help offbeat solutions to get there, right? And sustainable drinking water. You'd be shocked to know that 39% of Indian population still doesn't have access to a safe drinking water. Right? So environment, sustainability, growth, looking at every aspect of life is important, not just sticking to mainstream industry or the typical, so-called operational double quotes that we have, versus what is that they can explore. I think agriculture is something that's coming up big in AI vision for India, definitely. Number two, and medicine, well-being, and most importantly, healthcare is another aspect. These two are important for people, but I think there are other offbeat areas that we can encourage the current generation to look at too.
So pretty much definitely that's a great insight. But now even there is a trending terminology is AI is everywhere. So we'll be surprised that even such things definitely will be having directly or indirectly intervention of the AIs there. Okay, so we had a great fantastic discussions. Now before we wrap up, I would like to hear a one key piece of advice from our dignitaries. What should institutions and companies to do better prepare students for an AI driven workforce?
Shall I take it?
Please.
So, as we talk about our institution itself, we are no more offering domain-specific specialization, right? Our curriculum is towards building T-shaped professional. When I say T-shaped professional, our courses starts from the jobs, right? So we look at the employment, the JDs that we get, look at the skills that they're expecting. We design the curriculum on that basis, right? So stop offering domain specific like marketing. Probably companies don't want a marketing specialization student, but instead a digital marketing specialist or an SEO specialist who knows how to use Canva. Probably he might be happy to show how Canva is used in his organization.
Yes.
So start offering role-based curriculum. Probably that fulfills every problem that we are today discussing, right?
Yes.
With that, I stop.
Thanks. Yes. Sir, would you like to share? Please.
Yeah, in our university, we have redefined our curriculum. So we can't leave the core papers because everywhere we hear about the artificial intelligence, but still at the end of the day, when we screen the youngsters, we feel like they lack in the intelligence. So there are core papers. In addition to that, we have chosen the elective papers every semester, and elective papers we have handed over to industry specialists like CloudThat, wherein we can come up with the collaboration of both core papers as well as the industry specific papers, which will help the students to enrich their skills in both the domains. Thanks.
That's great.
From my side, what I feel, the technology, one thing is, first thing I have to appreciate the people who has come with an open mindset.
Yes.
Okay. So earlier cases, we are always talking about, we are complaining about our education system. Now everyone started thinking, okay, what I should do different.
Yes.
Because my students who have studied a lot, the first bench student, if you look at, this is one of the topic, even one of the debate also it has gone through. Those who are successful in their career, most of the people are backbench students. This is one of the survey what we have seen. I know in this crowd itself, how many of you are backbench students? Obviously, many are. So what I'm trying to tell you is, like, we have to train the people. Even our open mindset has to train the students. Not only on the AI ML, they have to be trained mentally to face the situations. They have to adapt their stress level. Because nowadays, the suicides and stress levels are going high. It's not only in the college level, it is going in the office level also. Because we are logging at 9:30, because they should understand, okay, it's not a corporate culture is not an easy thing.
Yes.
We are logging at 9:30, we are closing our shop at 10:30, 11 o'clock minimum.
Yes.
It's crossing 9 hours, 12 hours and all. Because they should be mentally prepared. Okay, this is how you have to work. You cannot compare with your neighbor's salary.
Yes.
That person might be getting another 15 lakhs, 20 lakhs. You cannot compare with your salary what you are getting.
Yes.
They should be mentally, they should be prepared. This is one of the major area we have to train the students. It's not only the books. Obviously the books, obviously they can study and they can pass. But they should face the, what is the society. Okay. It cannot give, I mean, when you're studying this AML, that will not give you that, the mental boldness actually. We should train them. That's always I talk about this. AML has to come with a supplementary of soft skills.
Yes. Great.
Thank you.
Great.
Again, radical by thought. 3 things. Number 1, academic immersion for industries to understand what kind of curriculum is offered.
Yes.
And I really like what our panelists talked about is the collaboration between industry and academia. So it is important that we have more and more academic institutions reaching out to organizations like us to actually partner for a created curriculum that is very essential for today's world. Definitely. The third one is think AI as augmented intelligence and not artificial.
Yes.
Right? The systems are learning through human intelligence. It's no longer artificial. That means everything that we do, the bias that we carry, the prejudices that we have is also getting into AI. So hashtag responsible AI, important to clean through AI when we use AI solutions. And I think students from the very formative age of their career should be very mindful of it. More responsible AI, more responsible solutions to the world.
Yes. Great.
Right? Thank you.
Great. Thanks. So
I will take only 10 to 15 seconds. Yes. Only 2 points I would suggest. One is soft skill, which is to create the boldness in the kids to take decisions in a responsive way. Second thing is plan at least 5 to 6 years ahead.
yes.
May feel we are stupid, but not. That is not the reality. Things will change anytime. When ChatGPT came, situations are different. Copilot came, situations are again different. Now new versions are coming. Many things we can see the solutions within a couple of seconds. So we need to think at least 5 to 6 years ahead.
Okay. Great.
Thank you.
Thanks. So we are approaching at the end of our discussions, and definitely I would like to thank our incredible panelists for sharing the insights, and of course our audience for bearing with us. Let's continue this conversation beyond today's discussion and work together towards a future where every graduate is truly future ready. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
What an insightful discussion. A huge thanks to our panelists. As we continue our discussion on AI impact, our next session focuses on the role of AI in skilling, education, and workforce development. Joining us for this session is leader from Microsoft. Please welcome Gunjan Patel, Director, Skills of Social Impact, Head AI Skill, Philanthropist at Microsoft. Gunjan is a strategic leader in CSR, ESG, and sustainability with over 18 years of experience driving education, skilling, and employment through technology. As director and head, philanthropist at Microsoft India, he leads workforce development initiatives, leveraging the Skills for Jobs programs. He specializes in future skill development, social entrepreneurship, and high impact partnerships aligned with UN, SDGs, and regulatory framework. I would like to give a round of applause and welcome Gunjan.
Hi, thank you. Yeah, I was listening to the panels and quite interesting conversations, and especially when the academia, the private sector is present, when we speak about the partnerships, collaborations, and how the exchange of knowledge must happen, right? Heard a lot about upskilling, skilling, and what academia, universities are putting in all the efforts. I think private sector also is equally putting effort in reskilling its own workforce, because AI in that way is really disrupting the way we do business. We look at business models, we look at economy shaping up. Uh, and and what I feel is that I think somehow technology or AI that we talk about is really creating that impact. There is cynicism. There is also I would say optimism with caution. But yes, there is a roadmap ahead. And what I believe, and some of the examples that we have seen, we heard a wonderful example of a boy from a university. Similarly, what recently we met with a bunch of girls, and some these girls came from center part of India, and they were studying in ITIs, not even higher education institution. And their biggest challenge was when they come to city like Delhi or go to Bangalore or Mumbai, they feel that how do we connect with girls like us, live together in hostels, and actually also share knowledge and share our notes and prepare together, right? So fortunately, they were also part of the program where they started learning about Copilot Studio, Chat GPT, and how they can actually use AI bot, etc. And they created AI bot again that can converse into different Indian languages. And of course they were a part of the training, so they could do that. But for what happened afterwards is that they are able to help more young girls from small towns, rural areas, when they want to go to big city for education, how they can actually come together and learn together. That not just only help in their education, but post their education they could actually convert that learning into job opportunities. So yeah, I think AI is definitely unlocking the potential. I don't want to go. I mean, when I gave the presentation, then I later realized that there's too much of data points. But to give a perspective, I think some kind of statistics may also help to sort of substantiate the point. You can have a look at, scan the barcode, and you'll see some of the work that Microsoft does in AI skilling and the resources that are available under AI skilling. There is and I want to start this in 2023, when Satya was in India, he was talking about India's GDP growth, $5 trillion economy, and what AI can play that role. And what we see, and in fact, this was also quoted in NASCOM, is that AI has the potential to contribute to $500 billion into the total of $5 trillion economy. So that's a substantial amount, substantial number that AI has the potential to contribute to. Now, why this is important for us to know that at the end, when we talk about AI era, we also look at the economy that is shaping up, and this economy, it's not only about the developers, it's not only about the engineers, it is about someone who is working in a bank, it is about someone who can use AI for agriculture or for healthcare or for sustainability. The gentleman in the previous panel spoke about sustainability. I think AI has a massive role to play there. When we look at for academia, right, AI is bridging that gap, and that is in a very significant way. One thing what Microsoft is propounding is how to de-link education with how to de-link skills with the degrees. Can we focus on skills? And there has been a massive conversation here around soft skills, about core tech skills, and how that both of that can be, amalgamated together. I mean, we don't need to. It's not a rocket science to understand that when we work in our day-to-day job, problem solving is a daily part of our work. How we think analytically, how we think in a particular team manner, or how we communicate. Right? I mean. Major part of our work, we do communication with our team, with our external internal stakeholders and all. Whether students are really capable of that. So how do we focus more on learning or skills part of it rather than just focusing on degrees? I think gradually that focus would emerge when we move forward. And something about AI era, right? So we talk about AI economy, and when we look at what economists are talking about it, so economist perspective on AI, and it's not about technologists or computer scientists perspective on AI. So what economist talks about is that we are in the throes of fourth industrial revolution. There were past three industrial revolutions where there were shifts in model. So when we look at first time when computers came into being, then the internet, everything happens with the cynicism, with the fear, with the vulnerability, and gradually they become part of our life. Now what we see that AI is going to play that role. Now next 25 years, what we see is that AI is going to disrupt everything and anything that we work. It's not about where students will get jobs, but it is about whether healthcare, agriculture, energy transition. It is about governance and administration, policy making. Everything will be impacted by AI. How computer and internet have changed our lives. And what economists call AI is the next general purpose technology. So typically there is a single use tools and there is general purpose technology. Like needle is a single purpose tool, or table, chair, single purpose tool. But when we look at electricity, when we look at steam, when we look at AI, they are general purpose technology, and these GPTs are disrupting the way economy, community, society would work. Some of the data points that wanted to highlight and why it is very critical for industry and academia to work even more closely now is when we look at some of the disruptions in last couple of decades, right? When we look at mobile phone has been a kind of technological revolution. It took almost 16 years. When we look at internet, that took 7 years, and when we look at social media, it took almost 4.5 years. But when we look at Chat GPT, just 2 million for 100 million users to come on that platform. itself shows that how fast the populations are moving on to different technological platforms. It is no longer a kind of choice whether we want to learn or not. It is somewhere coming into our life. When we look at how people are adopting AI, there is a difference in adoption and adaptation. We are adopting AI, but are we able to adapt to it? Are we able to embrace into our daily life? And there are two perspectives to it. One is positive, and second would be somewhere around perils around it. When we look at how people are using AI and seeing the benefits of it. So this is the study Microsoft and LinkedIn did, and this was published in Microsoft LinkedIn Work Trend Index, which talks about 75% of the knowledge workers, they use AI at work today. And when the survey was done, they say that 90% of them said that AI saves the time. It says that it allows them to focus on important tasks, and 83% enjoy. So statistics apart, fundamentally what it demonstrates is that the workforce is currently talking about that how embracing and adopting AI is helping the corporate in enhancing the productivity, helping one to focus on the core task rather than to do the mundane task and so on and so forth. However, 45% also have a kind of cynicism that whether it would be make the workforce vulnerable and all. So there are 52% say that they are a bit reluctant and so on and so forth. So there is anxiety and uncertainty. I think here is the time for us where private sector, academia, and I think CloudThat, some wonderful work they are helping us to do in that partnership. The way we are driving, various collaborations and going to universities, going amongst the developers community and so on and so forth. I think currently time is how we move forward faster to, adopting and adapting it. Adoption is one thing that may be forced upon us, but adaptation is something, it's a human behavior and a kind of part of natural revolution where we adapt to some of the new technologies and all. Again, this is again a part of the survey where professionals are learning on their own. So in the previous session, we heard a lot whether how academia are adopting, but I also want to say that within private sector, all of us, we have to learn. 5 years back, we didn't learn about AI. We didn't have to learn about AI, but now we as a professional also have to spend time in learning it. We do spend time in upskilling ourselves. So it is very much imperative that how and why academia and private sector should collaborate. This is just a sort of I want to leave with it. It's a good sort of comparison. While India boasts ourselves as the talent capital of the world, we are engineering superpower and all. Still, we are number 3 as far as developers ecosystem is concerned. When we talk about engineering colleges, everyone aspire to be a developer on different cloud platform technology, right? But still, we are still not there in as number 1. China is number 1. And that also shows that where the businesses will go, where the economic headwind and tailwind will go, right? So how we make India as number 1, it's not about acquiring that number 1, but that also would mean that our economy, society, communities will then grow accordingly. So I think we are here, and I'll leave with you some of the things that we do together. This Advantage India initiative that we are currently driving, CloudThat is very important partner with us. We work with academia, we work with youth, we work with the developers. A lot of learning is available freely. We have various applied skills program for learners, for youth, for developers to leverage. These are some of the topics given. There is a free resource available. It has applied AI skills badges available on it. You can go to Microsoft Learn, go to LinkedIn Learning Career Essential certifications. Last but not the least, this was published in Harvard Business Review. It says that AI won't replace human, but human without AI skills will replace human with AI. So basically, it's a time for us to join hands and see how we can upskill ourselves in this. Thank you so much for patience.
Thank you, Kunjan, for this amazing session. Wow! We have heard from industry leaders, academic experts, and professionals who are shaping the future of education and employability. One thing is clear: AI is not just transforming industries, it's redefining how we prepare students for success. This is not it. As we wrap up, I would like to invite Sandeep Sarkar, Associate Vice President, CloudThat, leading the domestic retail training business and global sales. With 16 years of experience in the edtech industry and an MBA from MIT University, he brings a wealth of expertise in driving learning initiatives and industry collaborations. I would like to give a round of applause to Sandeep.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Bhavesh. For sure, I'm not going to take much time of yours, right? And firstly, I would like to, say thanks to all the guests who joined today as CloudThat Campus to Corporate Summit 2025. And also, I would like to say a few things about us as CloudThat. We have been collaborating with multiple colleges and universities across different regions, in India specifically, including ISBR, UPES, and then Goenka, then Srinivas University, and many others, where we upskill. We also taking care of the students, upskilling part, specifically in terms of providing cutting edge training programs, including AI and cloud, right? And also, I would like to say, CloudThat team is here, and we will love to interact with all of you. And if you have any questions, any ideas, or would like to like interact with us for collaboration part or any other requirements, definitely I would like to say you can directly reach out to us. We will definitely happy to help you and curated multiple programs for you. Before we wrap up, yes, your feedback, which is definitely important for us, which is definitely through that we can be able to understand what exactly your thoughts, right, to this particular summit. So you can find the QR code, and we would definitely appreciate it if you could share your thoughts. And also, I would like to say we have a special gift for you, which you can collect from the registration desk after sharing your thoughts with us. And yes, at the end, thank you so much once again, everyone, every panel guest, speakers who have shared their invaluable insights. Yeah. And yes, at the end, also I would like to say, yes, foods and drinks, which we already have organized for you all, and just next to this particular hall room. Please feel free to help yourself. And once again, thank you so much, and wishing you all a wonderful evening. Thank you so much. Thank you.